G'day guys, and welcome to this business management lesson. In today's lesson, we're looking at key knowledge point 423. That is Unit 4, Area of Study 2, and the third key knowledge point for this area of study. Today specifically, we're looking at corporate culture and strategies for its development. Now, corporate culture is easily defined as the shared values and beliefs of the people working within a business. A homogeneous culture is one where all members share the same values and beliefs. You'd have a less homogeneous culture or a disparate culture where people don't share a lot of values and beliefs. They have their own independent values and beliefs. If in that case, you describe the culture as quite fractured or disparate, where there are a lot of shared values and beliefs, a lot of overlaps between the things that people within the business value. You've got a homogeneous culture. But broadly speaking, corporate culture is simply defined as the shared values and beliefs of the people within an organization. Now, there are two different types of corporate culture that you're going to need to be familiar with: official corporate culture and real corporate culture. Official corporate culture is the culture as the business or the leadership of the business intend the culture to be. Typically, you're going to hear about this or be able to read about what the culture is intended to be in documentation, like the mission and vision statements of the business, and certainly in policies that describe how internal stakeholders should behave, how they should act, how they should interact, how they should approach their work, etc. Real corporate culture, by contrast, is the actual values and beliefs of the people in the business. The people who aren't necessarily in leadership, but the lived values. The way that stakeholders interact might be more familiar and more friendly than the official corporate culture would intend. Perhaps individuals in the business are more competitive and work more in isolation than the official corporate culture would intend, if the official culture talks about teamwork and being a family. The real corporate culture is how this actually looks on the ground when you observe the behavior of the internal stakeholders. In any case, there are elements that you can look at that will help you identify a corporate culture. And certainly, if you're going to try and adjust or modify a corporate culture, changing some of these elements is going to have a significant impact. When it comes to culture, any business will have things that it values. Maybe the management of your business particularly value timeliness and being on time for work, and that's a real priority for them. They take disciplinary action for employees who are late to work. They talk a lot about the importance of being on time. That might be one of the things they particularly value. In other cases, perhaps it's obedience or honesty. Perhaps it's teamwork or very high standards of customer service. In whatever case, it will be clear to anyone who's worked in an organization with goals that the goals are typically aligned to one or two specific values, or at the very least, disciplinary actions taken and training focuses will tend to focus on one or two specific values that are the priority for that team environment or for that workplace. We can too look at the physical layout of a location. If there are cubicles, if offices have closed doors, you would understand that the priority in that workplace is working efficiently, a lack of distractions. But in that kind of case, teamwork is probably a lower priority. Whereas if it's an open plan office, perhaps instead of having dedicated office spaces, employees are encouraged to hot desk, where they just sit wherever there's a space for them on a given day. If there are a lot of communal tables, where people can just sit with their laptops and sit around a table together, then you would understand that the business seems to be prioritizing and trying to facilitate teamwork and collaboration. You can look at the rituals that people participate in. Are there birthday celebrations for employees? Are there team building exercises like laser tag or escape rooms organized as part of the working calendar? Do employees gather outside of work, perhaps on a Friday, to go to get drinks together? Do they go out for lunch together? Do they associate outside of work? Is the business more focused on celebrating work-related achievements? Are there salesman awards or acknowledgements for efforts made in the workplace? Certainly, too, how do employees dress? The official culture might include a policy that describes the intended dress code, but how well are employees actually sticking to that? Are they embodying it? Does the dress code talk about a professional standard of dress? And do all of the employees take that quite seriously and demonstrate they're committed to presenting themselves as dressed professionally? Or is the actual lived culture a little bit less concerned with looking professional and more with dressing in a way that is most suitable in the minds of the employees for the kind of work they do? When it comes to developing a culture, modifying those elements that we just spoke about is one way that you can do it. If you know that you're going to be implementing training and there'll be discipline in line with particular values, and you know that you really want to prioritize teamwork in your business, encouraging all levels of management to be looking for opportunities to praise employees who work well together and discipline employees who refuse to comply with efforts made to help them engage in collaborative exercises might be the way to help build that culture. Certainly, one of the most important things is that the desired culture is communicated to employees. If you are looking to build up collaboration and teamwork in your business, have you told your employees that that's what you're hoping to do? Have you communicated that very clearly, that employees are not just encouraged, but expected to be making efforts to collaborate in the time that they're at the workplace? Certainly, it can also help to recruit employees who already exhibit the desired values. If you are looking to build a collaborative, teamwork-based culture in your business, when you're interviewing potential candidates for jobs, perhaps you want to talk to them about their attitudes towards teamwork, if they can provide examples of times when they have been an effective member of a team. Perhaps you want to ask leading questions in the other way. Do you prefer to work alone? Talk to us about the strategies you use to avoid distractions. Might be the sort of question you're asking to see if someone really is more committed to not speaking to their colleagues. Certainly implementing training and development opportunities to reinforce desired values or desired practices within the organization, and certainly recognizing and rewarding employees whenever they do exhibit behaviors in line with the desired culture is yet another way to reinforce and develop a desired corporate culture. In summary for this key knowledge point, corporate culture is the shared values and beliefs of the people within an organization. Any business where the people involved have a lot of overlap between the official and the real corporate culture is an environment where people are going to be more engaged and motivated, and therefore will be more productive and efficient. Environments where teamwork is the priority, where collaboration is the priority, where managers are supportive and encouraging, where they invest in training, will develop a culture in which employees feel valued, employees feel safe, and you will have very low rates of turnover. Your employees will be very committed to engaging with their work in that place. More disparate cultures, or cultures where the official corporate culture and the real corporate culture don't align significantly, you'll find lower levels of engagement, lower levels of interest in being at the workplace, working hard in the workplace. If employees feel that management don't see eye to eye with them, if management have unreal expectations, then the employees are going to be less interested in operating in that environment. And in that kind of case, it's very important that managers identify what it is that they actually do desire for their workplace and make changes to the elements to develop that corporate culture, as well as being sure to communicate the desired culture to their employees. There are two types of official corporate culture that you need to be familiar with: the official culture and the real culture. That's all for today. See you next time.